Sammy G.
What's going
in
on,
the hood, man.
What's going on?
I just pull this little thing close to you a little bit. That's
like
it.
that?
Yeah. Oh,
Better?
give the people that voice, man.
Yeah.
Oh, what's been happening? What have you been up to?
Just today or?
Oh, just life in general.
Life has been very good, man. Very good.
Yeah.
So we've been empowering the youth.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Sekseed, huh? That's what that is.
Sekseed. See what I did there?
Sekseed, Sekseed, yeah.
That's right. It's all about seeking, empowering knowledge.
That's what it says below too, huh?
That's right.
I like that.
Yeah.
And I see on the bottle there too, love, joy, peace, happy. Huh?
Yeah, so this is a bottle from my partners or sponsors in Mali. They sponsored my program back 2,000 years ago.
Oh, yeah?
2,000 years ago, yeah. Back when Jesus was born. 2 years ago. And Iman, she was clever enough to order these bottles, and they fit perfectly in a laptop bag.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they're not big and bulky,
Is
right?
that glass or?
It's hard plastic.
That's killer.
Yeah, so they put their stuff on it. Be the reason someone smiles today. And so I put love, joy, peace, and happy, and then I put this little, coined a term. Can you read that?
Sec minute.
Sec minute. Sec minute. It's a bit of a take off neck minute.
Yeah.
Right, so it's catchy.
Yeah.
But it allows people to associate what they learnt that day with the term. So we anchor the learnings to the term. So these young people, they're out there yelling out, sec minute.
Yeah.
They don't realise that it's just sort of reaffirming what we've learnt.
Really?
Yeah, man.
So it's like that word that they...
That's right.
Yeah, like that woosa, but like...
Woosa, or hum, you know what I mean? It's just like an anchor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense, man.
It's been good, man. I love it.
So you work a lot with, what, high school kids? Or
Yeah, mainly high schools, 8 to 12.
So tell us about Seekseed. So what do you actually do with it?
So we run different workshops.
Yeah.
So basically they make like I'll hit schools up and I'll say this is what we do. So we do, mindset, attitude, resilience, well-being, stress, goal setting, habits, health, mind, healthy body, that type of thing.
Yeah.
And we just sort of tailor them depending on what the school needs. And then we even run teacher workshops. So around the same thing. So obviously teachers are in there day in, day out.
Yeah.
And so we want teachers to be at their best, in what we call peak state. So I come in, I smash them for an hour and a half, and I leave, and I get them jimmied up,
Yeah.
Teachers are there day in, day out. So what are they doing for their well-being? And because obviously that then leaks out into their students.
Well, we got kids, right? And you know how like full on kids can be, like, and how
100%.
stressful, and like
100%.
teachers, man, have to put up with that day in, day out.
Yeah.
And we work with a lot of teachers as well in our job here with property. But what you find out about some teachers, especially when they're doing special ed or working with autistic kids and that sort of thing too, man. One of my friends, she's a teacher, comes home with bites on her arms and just fully stressed because of like the day they have to deal with all these kids sometimes running amok.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like it'd be a hard load to deal with, like mentally, day in, day out, and like repeat.
Mm-hmm.
So like having that motivational hour or whatever it might be, man, can really like not just pick them up for the day, but you can flip them for the rest of the year, or like from then on, you know what I mean? Because sometimes they're just beaten, battered and bruised, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Is that what you found, or what?
100%, man.
Yeah.
Well, that's what seed is about. It's about planting the seeds. So, if they don't, subconsciously they're going to pick stuff up. They might not in the time, they might not be in the right state in the time to go, oh, I really need that, and I'm going to use that straight away. There's many kids that do.
Yeah.
They do it straight off the bat and they just use it.
Yeah.
Others sort of takes time, and later they'll be like, oh, I remember that thing you said, and now I'm using it. And that may be 3 months later.
Yeah.
It's about the seed. And often teachers say to me, I've been telling them this all year, but they don't listen to me.
Yeah.
Because I come in like the cool uncle.
Yeah, that's it, right? Well,
the dad keeps telling the same message. The cool
man.
uncle says the same message. They go, oh, thanks, uncle.
Yeah.
That's what I try and do for the teachers. So
and some kids will probably take a bit more time because, you don't know everyone's situation at home.
Exactly.
Right? And it could be hard for them to trust someone who's telling them that it's going to be okay. You know what I mean? Because all they know is something that's not.
Yeah.
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 Have you found that with the...
Well, this is the other thing, and this is part of the thing that I'm in the training with teachers, is being more vulnerable. See, teachers put up this guard that protects them, but what it's doing is building a wall between them and the students, so the students don't feel like, oh, you're real, because they've got this wall. The students wouldn't even know that the teacher's done anything wrong in their past. They just think this teacher's there and it's up on a pedestal. Where I come there and I open vulnerabilities, I go, hey, I stuffed up, I did this, I did that, I did this, and then they're like, what? And I go, and I've changed my life using this, and this. So with teachers, I feel like number one, they probably can't do it as much as me. You know, if they probably opened up about some of the stuff they'd done in the past, maybe they wouldn't get hired or employed, right? So true. Number two, I get to use those tools a bit more, but just to allow students in a bit, you know, and then trust, man. Like, I'll come in 5 minutes and build trust. And rapport with students, because I'll just be real. I'm not trying to be something perfect person, because nobody's perfect, right? There's only one that's perfect, right? And so I'm like, hey, this is my flaws, and I'm open, but I'm always about learning. So even when I go to teach, I got this saying, I use it all the time, right? Those who can't do, teach. And those who can't teach PE.
It's okay, isn't that School of Rock, huh? School of Rock.
That's it.
That's good. Jack Black.
Much love to all those PE teachers. No, I love you.
Right? Of course. Well, we've got a good friend of ours, a PE teacher. We do another show with here, Ned.
Oh, nice.
He cops it more than anyone in our group.
No doubt.
The one Aussie guy. Right, but
that's it.
Shout out to Ned. But man, so like, all right, so you get in there and you connect with these kids like pretty quickly, right? Because like, are you always going to see the same kids? But
so there's a few different options. So sometimes I'll just go to the school, like I do a lot of like first week of term stuff, you know, whole school or whole cohort, and just come in and jive them up, whatever the key topic may be, like a keynote. I love those. That's, you know, just insane. Like flat out energy, right? And then there's the other ones that book me every week for a term. And I've got 2 schools that have booked me every week for a year.
Yeah, beautiful.
So I build like I told some of these guys the other day, I spend more time with you than I do some of my good friends.
Man,
like hour and a half every week.
That's insane.
Yeah, man. So we build a good relationship, and they and some, I don't even go in there with a structure. So once I've built a relationship and I've given them some tools, then I'm like, okay, what do you want to chat about today? And sometimes it'll just be a general chat, like, oh, this is on my mind. Cool. What have you done? What have you done to solve that problem? Or how has that affected you this week? And we just sort of general conversation, and they go away going, oh, that was the best session.
That's killer.
So sometimes not even planned.
So it's like during the school hours, right, in the day. So so the schools are agreeing to like kind of do it as like a lesson every week for these kids. That's important, man.
Very much so. So they're very different than when we went to school, man. Right. So 2 things are probably key different. One is the flexible learning. So it's called flow. Different schools have different names, but basically it's kids that aren't working fantastically in mainstream, 9 till 3 every day, those subjects, they get into a flexible learning, and they are able to plan their year way more suitable to themselves. And that class has a bit more flexibility in what it can and can't do, and they're more focused on life skills. And that's where I sort of thrive, in that environment. You know?
Well, it's good for, like, I guess the principals to have awareness that, you know, this is important for mental health, right? And to actually see that vision. Because, you know, we've all had experiences with mental health and how much it can, you know, damage people and people surrounding them, right? But it's like, if nothing's ever done about that to help, especially from a young age, to prepare like for the hard, cold world that it can be to some people, and in that darkness, and have a bit of light come in and sort of show them a different way. I think it's very important that it actually happens, and it's good that you're actually going out there doing it from the right place.
Thanks, man.
You know what I mean? And man, it's if we had more Sammy G's, it'd be good.
I've been saying that for years, bro.
The funny thing is, you have. Right,
I was telling the world ages ago.
No, legit. But like, it's good that you've actually created it into something. Like, you have created yourself into something to give to these kids, because I know you'd be real, because you always have been real ever since I've known you. Thanks, right, man. And you've always been a big ball of energy too, right, and a very unique sort of energy. So having you being that energetic and coming into these kids' lives, and you know, some of them are going to be in different situations than other, and you can be that uncle that can you know, put an arm around them, tell them it's going to be okay, and this is how you deal with it. I mean, is something that I think should be mainstream.
Yeah, that's the goal, man. That's the plan, you know.
Yeah.
There's a few speakers out there that are doing, like, they sort of tell their story and then they leave, you know, and that's great. Like, that's great, but who's doing it weekly? There's a few guys out there that are doing weekly, but how much they're using more tools.
Yeah.
So I try and combine both
Yeah.
story with the tools.
Yeah.
So it's not just, hey, do this, wake up early, you have a cold shower, journal, pray, meditate, you know?
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, this is what it does for me. And
Yeah.
my life used to be like this, and now it's like this, you
Yeah.
know? And you were speaking before about mental health. It's become a big word,
Yeah.
you know? It's become a big thing. So if we look at it the same way we look at physical health,
Yeah.
you know, and we look at the world it is today with this information overload, what we call information obesity.
Sure.
So the social media and the phone, and that's basically like Macca's,
Yeah.
you know. We
I
don't
like
eat
it.
Macca's every day expecting to get healthy. But we use a phone and scroll every day expecting to get healthy.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same, man. I
Yeah.
spoke to the kids today and I told them a little fact, which I don't know a lot of people know. Steve Jobs, rest in peace. But Steve Jobs was interviewed, okay, when the iPhone came out. And the journalist said to him, oh, your kids must love this. And he answered without thinking. He said, I don't let my kids use it.
Yeah. Yeah, because
Because he knows the dangers of it. And these kids, bro, I get them to be aware of how much they're using their phone. I mean, you know, even adults, how much they use their phone.
Yeah.
What do you think the average usage, teenager, mobile phone, a week in hours?
I reckon, I don't know, I'm going to say probably about 4 hours a day. So, 28?
36.
Is it? Well, there you go.
36 hours a
About
week.
6 hours a day.
Yeah. 36 hours a week, man. That's a
Yeah.
day and a half of just doing this.
Looking at your phone.
Come on, man.
Man. Yeah, and they're teenagers, right? So it's not like you're using it for your career.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So there's another thing, another technique that I get them to do. And some of them have not even looked at their usage. Some of them, they think their phone is not, like, it's broken. Like, nah, that can't be right. Like,
Yeah.
it buzzes them out
Yeah.
that much.
I
They're
don't
like,
know that
what?
one. Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
But I get them to think about if they took 10% of that time, just 10%.
Yeah.
Okay, so 3.6 hours a week, and invested that into bettering themselves mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, some way, shape or form,
Yeah.
how much of an impact that would have.
So how do you relate that to the kids though? Just like that?
Just like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you walk into a class, like for the first time,
Yeah.
so how do you approach that?
So first thing I do is, I don't know if you can see it. Hang on, before I ruin your lead down here.
Yeah.
Is I walk in with these.
Orange.
Can you see those,
See that
bro?
calm?
Can
Yeah.
you see those?
Yeah.
Converse, you hear me?
Yeah.
This is what I wanted sponsorship for, Converse, one pair of shoes, that's all I wanted, man. Said they didn't have the budget, Michael. Anyway, that's what they reckon. It's one pair of shoes, baby, come on. All right? So this is what we call an icebreaker, okay?
Oh, yeah.
So I walk through a school with bright neon, they're called neon coral, actually.
Yeah.
Converse, and people are just like, oh, mad shoes, sir, mad shoes. We break the ice.
Yeah.
Teachers buzz out, they're like, oh, they all love your shoes. They think it's just like Habibi, I've done this on purpose.
Yeah.
I don't wear these out.
Yeah.
I wear these to school
Yeah.
because now I don't need to break the ice.
Yeah.
Okay? And then I bring humor. Humor is one of my strengths, so I use it. And one thing I say is, let's set the ground rules for this discussion.
Yeah.
Mobile phones on silent in your pockets. If I see them, I take them. If I take them, I sell them. You see? Made
Yeah.
me laugh, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And they laugh, and I'm like, why are
Yeah.
you laughing? You know?
Yeah.
And then they're, oh, okay. So we break the ice. We just go, this guy's chill, man.
Yeah.
This guy's not here to lecture us.
Yeah.
He's here to have a chat. And that's
Yeah.
what it's about.
So it connects.
Connects, man. It's all about the relationships,
Yeah.
bro. Nobody cares how much you know till they know how much you care.
Yeah.
That's it.
So what made you want to get into it, Sammy?
Oh, mate. I remember maybe 13 years ago, we were running sales teams door to door. Okay.
Yeah.
And I got into the training side, so recruiting, new salespeople and training, and I really liked the training side. Like I liked building people up and building up their confidence and watching them achieve little goals and watching them overcome fears and knocking on the door and getting their first sale like that. I thrived off that.
Yeah.
And then I said, okay, I want to do more of this. How can I do more of this? And then I got into the employment services, so working with the unemployed.
Yeah.
And I loved, building them up and seeing. But what I noticed was that they have what we call job ready.
Yeah.
So that's a list that you get that are job ready, and you get to market those people to employers. The problem was job ready and job ready is two different things. And so I realized, man, we've got to work on mindset here before I go and sell you to my employer.
Yeah,
and
right.
potentially burn the bridge. So I started, doing a bit of Tony Robbins and Espo, shout out. We did a lot of personal development together, reading books and applying stuff, visualization, goal setting. And I was like, I want to be the Tony Robbins for the masses. Because Tony Robbins, shout out Tony Robbins,
Yeah.
$2,000 a ticket.
Yeah.
Not everyone can afford that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And what if you're not even aware of your weaknesses or your incompetence? You're not even looking for that.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be able to be like Sam Robin Hood.
Yeah.
Take from the rich and give to the poor.
Yeah, right.
Not steal from them, learn from them and give to the rest.
Yeah.
Right? Not essentially poor.
Sure.
And so once I started training them and getting results there, I was like, you know what? I got to hit the youth, because we know that's where most of, I think up until the age of 85% of who you are is created.
Till 8 years old.
Till 8 years old.
Is that right?
85% of who you are is created in those formative years.
Yeah, right.
So it's not to say you can't change,
Yeah.
but the brain doesn't want to change, because change means different. Different means scary.
Yeah.
Scary means fear. And the brain is there to keep you safe. So ultimately, every single one of us that wants to change, there's a fight going on in between it. So I'm like, how can I equip them with the tools before they get to mid-20s and unemployed for 3 years and form all these negative habits? How can I plant those seeds in them when they're younger, so they can be, number one, better for themselves.
Yeah.
Once you're better for yourself, you're
Yeah.
better for your family,
Yeah.
you're better for your community, you're better for your environment, you're better for your planet.
Sure.
That's the bigger picture. Yeah.
So that's the why. That's the why you're doing it.
That's the why.
Man, it's full on.
It is, man.
Yeah?
It is full on. Yeah.
So who's your favourite? Tony Robbins?
He's definitely up there.
Yeah.
Well, he was the first one, and him and me, we had that energy. He's just high energy,
Yeah.
flat out, boom.
Big impact.
Big impact.
Yeah.
And then there's other guys that I like, and Yahya is one of them, Joel Marion, Dan Kilmode Long, Dr. Joe Dispenza, just some guys that are like just at the frontier of things, Dave Asprey. Who else do I like? I'm sorry if I missed any of you.
Yeah. Yeah, there's only just a few out there.
No, I know what it's like to be at the
my
Logies
God.
and the Oscars.
Well, but no, I think it's great what you're doing. So what's been the hardest thing to deal with, like, in your role? Like, yeah, has it been like a bigger hurdle?
Yeah, I mean, there is hurdles. So couple of hurdles would be obviously getting into schools. Like, who are you?
Yeah.
Why should we get you?
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to have Iman and Ali from Imali sponsor me for the first 2 years. And basically what they did was they believed in me. They believed in the message. They've always wanted to impact young people.
Yeah.
And they said, cool, we're going to support you with a wage, car and phone and laptop to go out. And so I was able to offer it. Yeah. I was able to offer it to schools for free. So I'm eternally grateful for them,
It's amazing.
And the man in particular, helped me structure workshops. We sat down and we talked about, what we wanted to cover and how we wanted to deliver and how many weeks. And she kept pushing me, and because of her guidance, made me believe more in myself and more in the message. And then I was able to charge a fee, you know. So that very first time I charged a fee, I was like, oh, it was like exciting,
Yeah.
And I even said to them,
like
they
a
said, oh,
business.
how much is it? And I'm like, how much you got? It was like that. I'm pretty open. I'm just like, well, what's your budget? And they gave me a budget and I go, cool, I'll do this. And people are like, that's too cheap. And I'm like, I didn't want to just be for the schools that had money.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to just be for the lower socioeconomic that have more funding. But I wanted to be across the board, because then the middle get left out, So that was probably one hurdle. And two is probably, are you making an impact?
Yeah.
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 And those questions come up. And those seeds of doubt, and you're like, especially in the day. Sometimes teenagers, man, they don't give you like
nothing. Yeah,
they don't give you nothing. You know, it's very weird. Like
That's
you
true.
think, I don't know, is that any good? And then a teacher will go, oh, that was great, and then I'll get a message, oh, yeah, it's changed my life, and I'll be like, just at the right moment. You know, when you're doubting, you get a message on Insta or Snapchat or something, just going, oh, this was amazing, man, thanks, and you're like, all right, cool, let's keep going.
So that's how you get your feedback, really.
It is.
It's from the kids themselves.
Well, the other thing is I send out feedback, surveys.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. The problem is they all go, great.
Yeah.
Right? Now, how can we improve? I tell them, please tell me it was crap. Tell me what was crap. Was it too long? Was there too much info? Did I give you enough tools? But young people, when they like you, they're just going to go, it was great.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But you don't grow or learn from that.
But maybe it's relating to them in a way that, like, they think it's amazing, you know? They don't know, like, if there's anything better because they thought it was perfect the way it was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, like, I don't know, these days I feel like people are a bit more insensitive to, like, actually say, like, if something was shit, like, they'd be like, dude, that was a bit crap.
Yeah.
Right? It's not like back in the day they'll spare your feelings and then, like...
Oh, you reckon back in the day they would spare your feelings more?
Well, not really. I think there's some people would be like, you know, they'd say yes to your face, it's all good, but then they'd go behind your back and say it to other people, right? You know what I mean? But like now, I feel like people would be like more straight out and say, okay, you know, if it was shit, they'll be like, yeah, it was.
That's interesting.
That's what I think. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Right, but I think, especially with the kids, man, like if you're relating to them in a way that if they didn't like it, they probably wouldn't even send it back, or they probably wouldn't fill it out.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They'd be like, oh, this was a joke, like, a waste of my time. Or, you know what I mean? One kid would be like that. Yeah. But if you're relating to them, you give them more energy and they're buzzing. Yeah. Like, why would they even, they wouldn't write that.
No. Yeah. Well, out of the hundreds of surveys that I've had, I had 2, so they're out of 5.
Yeah.
I've had 2 1s.
There you go.
But they didn't write why. They just gave me a 1, man. I'm like, come on, man, tell me why. Tell me how.
I don't know, man, they didn't like your beard or something.
Just like 1.
Oh, yeah. I would have wore blue shoes, not orange, huh?
Your shoes, I've had people go, your shoes were too bright.
Yeah.
I need sunglasses.
Oh, good, man. So how long have you been doing it for now?
2.5 years, man.
2.5?
Yep.
So, and how many schools all up do you work with at the moment?
So currently...
Or have you worked with, I should say?
Probably about 20 so far. Yeah. And probably about 12 at any one time. Yeah.
And so you'd be booked out now for a bit?
So yeah, depending on the term. So last term we delivered over 96 sessions.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
In a term.
Yeah. It was pretty big, man.
Yeah.
It was a big term, man. So it took
That's
a lot.
12 weeks, yeah. So
10 weeks.
Oh, it's 10 weeks now.
Yeah. So there wasn't a day I wasn't delivering, and like on my recent post, there are days that I go and people go, oh, why haven't you booked them all in the same area? I'm like, do you know how teachers work, man? Like one teacher needs that day, the other teacher needs that day. So I'm going from like Aldinga to Elizabeth, back to Salisbury, and I live up the hills.
Yeah, right.
Or Henley Beach, Elizabeth, Golden Grove, back to Glenelg, you know, because I do one-on-ones with some young people too.
Yeah.
And so some days I do like 1,000 Ks a week, Monday to Friday.
Yeah, that's crazy. But
crazy.
So you don't limit yourself to where you go help?
No, I don't.
No.
I just go wherever.
Yeah. That's your way.
That's
the
it,
way.
mate. That's it. I'm pretty much travelling to Melbourne every week.
Oh, yeah?
Well... What's it to Melbourne?
Yeah, true.
What's it to Melbourne? 7 hours? 760 or something?
Yeah, 8 hours, whatever it is. So it's crazy, man.
I know.
Yeah, but...
it's like the old days.
It's worth it for the message, though. So you do one-on-ones with some of the students as well?
So, there has been some outreach for some one-on-ones. So, at the moment, I have 3 one-on-one clients. That's pretty much what I can fit.
Yeah.
And so, we get to delve a bit deeper into some more individualised strategies and help them. We do like 10 weeks at a time.
Yeah.
You know, so we've had really good success rate with the couple of young people that we're working with at the moment.
Yeah.
So it's been good, man.
So did they approach you to do
Yeah, the parents approached me.
Yeah?
Yeah. And they said, hey, we've heard you work with young people. Would you be interested in doing one-on-one? Or I'll go meet with the family and suss it out and see if we're a fit. I'm not going to just go yes.
Yeah,
I'm going to be like, okay, what do you want to achieve? What would you like me to engage with the young person?
Yeah.
What do you want me to do, basically? And then go, okay, yeah, I can do that. Let's do it.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because sometimes, I guess as a parent, you know, you can get to a certain point and you feel like, you know, you need an outside source to come in and have a different approach and different message to it. Huh? Is that
100%.
pretty much what it's about?
Well, I feel the same with my kids, man.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm out there empowering other kids.
Yeah.
My kids hear it all the time.
Yeah.
And so they need to almost hear it from somebody else.
Yeah.
So I might have to hire somebody. You know?
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
That's good. So what's the next plan for you? So what's next year looking like for you?
So probably a lot more teacher programs.
Yep.
That's the goal. School holiday programs for young people, like 2 or 3 day Tony Robbins style seminars, but for younger people, like maybe years 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
You know, that sort of junior year where you're just sort of going, who am I?
Yeah.
And then probably I've got a couple of, well, one mate in particular, Robbie. He's thinking about coming down and maybe collaborating and doing some stuff together.
Oh, great.
Because he's doing something similar in Newcastle.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Grind 365 is him. And he's been working hard on his side hustle and it's doing great things.
Yeah, nice.
And just continually learning, man.
Yeah.
That's the key, man. Just, you know, mastering the craft and you know, getting good people around me and mentors that help me grow and help me see my blind spots, and because we all got them, right?
Yeah.
You know, so
We always got to keep learning, keep developing,
always,
keep
man,
being better.
It's great, man.
So how do the teachers respond to that? I mean, we talked about the kids for a bit, and you know, the kids are great, but how about the teachers as well? It'd be something interesting to deal with as well, right?
Yeah, I was very nervous for my first. I called it Teach the Teach.
Oh yeah.
And I was very nervous for my first one just because the teachers, and then everyone sort of was talking it up like, oh, you know, they'll let you know if they're bored or they don't like it, or, you know, and all this sort of stuff. So there's a bit of pressure. But Salisbury East High School, they were actually my first school.
Yeah.
They've been supporting me for years since my old job at Start Smart. So we used to run the financial literacy for Commonwealth Bank.
Okay.
And they've been great supporters. And they said, hey, look, would you do it for teachers? And we're like, yep, cool. And so we did it, man. They loved it, man. And then I've done another one, and then we've just booked one for the northern area principals and deputies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's in a month's time. I'm running some session, hour and a half, I think, with all the principals of the northern schools. So
fantastic, dude.
Yeah.
That's really
cool.
good.
It's going to be cool.
So it'd obviously be a little bit of a different approach with the teachers, huh? When you're when you're doing the teacher side of it, or what?
It's very similar.
Yeah.
That keynote is very similar. Like that very high energy, activity-based learning, discussion, and takeaway tools. Like, have you tried this? What if you do this? And then we bring in a little bit of neuroscience. Like, I love it. You know, so I'll go, oh, do you know this? Even teachers, 65% of teachers, they're like stress levels is higher than any other, on average, any other industry.
Yeah, right.
Okay?
Yeah.
And I think it was 17% admit to using alcohol as the crutch.
Is that right? 17%?
Yeah. Well, when I train teachers, they say more than
that.
17.
Yeah. 70 or 17?
More, they're more like 70. You know, but then, because we know, then we're like, oh, okay, well, drugs and alcohol is used as an escape.
Yeah, sure.
Okay? It's used as an escape. Like
coping mechanism.
Yeah. But then what is it about it that brings pain? Remember, the brain does more to avoid pain than it does to gain pleasure.
Okay.
So avoiding pain is drinking alcohol. But what is it about pain that we don't like? Because we know no pain, no gain.
Yeah.
We know that.
Yeah.
We know that in a physical form.
Yeah.
You know, if you got to go to the gym and build, you got to go through pain.
Yeah.
But in every other aspect of our life, we want to avoid it. It's not how it works. But we need to face the pain. Go, okay, why am I feeling this way? What's going on? How can I change it? And like I say to young people, I spent years, avoiding pain with drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
And then when I sat down with them and went, okay, what's really going on here? Part of it is that, am I not living a life that I want to wake up to?
Yeah.
And if I'm not, can I control it? And if I can't, don't worry about it. If I can, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So if I can't control it, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
If I can control it, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Because worrying doesn't impact it in a positive way.
No.
If I can control it, let me look and change what I want so I can be where I want to be in order to do what I want to do.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Makes sense, man.
Yeah.
So, like, So you said you had a problem with it back in the day.
Yeah.
So like, how you pull yourself out of that place?
Yeah. Okay. So it was a big journey.
Yeah.
So obviously I had a very supportive missus.
Yeah.
Extremely supportive.
That's
Babe,
good.
love you. And God, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean that was a big journey in itself, but yeah, man, I found Jesus. Jesus found me. I said that to my uncle one time. I said I found Jesus. He said, "Why, was he lost?" I said, "No, I was, but now I'm found."
Yeah.
So you know, it's a bit of a topic these days, man. People seem to avoid it or ignore it, or for whatever reason, and it's like, man, we are. Come on, like this. It's very hard to deny a intelligence. Let's call it that, right?
Yeah.
Very hard, man.
Yeah.
So, and I've connected directly and had my own revelation. This is not from anybody else. This was direct.
That's what I mean. You can only talk about what you experienced.
It's my experience. This is what happened to me.
Yeah.
And this is what I did. And he broke the chains, man. You know? And then since then, I've then applied these tools that I use on the daily.
Yeah.
You know? So I get into the word every day. It's the first thing I do is I pray.
Yeah.
And people call it gratitude practice. Like, that's what prayer is, man.
Yeah.
You know, thank you, Lord.
Yeah.
Right? They go, thank you for my... Who are they thanking? You know, this gratitude practice, this now universal gratitude practice.
Sure.
Who are you thanking?
Yeah.
You're thanking the universe. You're thanking something, someone, right?
Yeah.
So that's very important. And then the habits, you know. The environment controls what you do.
Yeah.
So if you look back at my life and you said, who were you hanging around with in 2007?
Yeah.
And I told you,
Yeah.
I could tell you what I was doing.
Yeah.
Who was you hanging around with in 1999?
No, it's funny, man.
I could tell you,
Yeah.
and I would know what I was doing.
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter if I can't remember what I was actually doing. Just tell me who I was with.
Dude,
I'll tell you what I was doing.
Such an old saying, because I was speaking to my dad yesterday.
Yeah.
Right? And he was saying, and he's always said it, but he said it again, because you know what the oldies are like.
Of course.
When their parents tell them something,
Of
it's
course.
like, you know, my father always used to tell me, he goes, you tell me where you're going, I'll tell you what you're doing.
100%.
Right? And it's like, all right, when I used to hear that when I was younger, I'm like,
Yeah.
what does that mean? Like,
Yeah.
where you going? I'm going here. You know what I'm doing? Well, you don't know what I'm doing exactly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like, you tell me who you're going and who you're hanging out with, I'll
Yeah.
tell you exactly what you're doing.
Exactly.
And as you get older and you go through life and you start
Yeah.
going out and having different experiences and
Yeah.
seeing people in different lights and, you know, etc., you know, you start saying, oh, well, you know what? You know, if you are hanging out with those sort of people, you are doing those sorts of things. If you're hanging out in this environment over here, you're going to be doing that sort of stuff there, you know? So it's pretty much on par with what you're saying. So what the biggest way you sort of pulled yourself out of it was what, to change your environment or what?
100%. I had to cut people off, man. You know? And not that I didn't love them.
Yeah.
I still love them.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't be around that or them because I knew, like I tell young people, I'm like, oh, you know, you hang around this crew, you're doing that. No, I say no. I say, how long for? How long can you continue to say no for before, number one, they tell you to piss off because, well, you're not doing anything that we're doing, so why are you kicking it with us?
Yeah.
And number two, before you're tempted to say yes. That's what it took me, man. When I started, I was saying no to a group of mates' activity.
Yeah.
Nah. I was doing everything else, but just not that.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Then I said yes once. That one yes, based on my personality, took me down a 10-year journey with this battle, man.
Yeah, right.
10 years, bro. Okay?
Yeah.
For me to even get out of that the way I did and to be able to talk to you about it and be able to go and share the stories and that is a miracle in itself, man.
Yeah.
You know, because I went hard for a long time, man.
I knew you when you were going hard,
Yeah.
to be honest, man. But yeah.
Most Adelaide did, man.
Yeah, I know. When you send me G, man.
Yeah.
No, I understand, dude. But it's like, I mean, I've seen, I've had experiences with people in dark places and I've seen it a lot. And it's hard watching as well, being a bystander in that, especially when you love someone so much and they just don't see the light in that situation, you know what I mean? So it's like to pull yourself out of that the way you did and to actually look at your situation and say, you know what, are these people benefiting my life in the right way or are they not? And you know, when you've got an addiction or whatever it might be in that sort of place and you're in a routine of harming yourself to a point, or clouding yourself, there's always excuses to talk yourself out of what you know to be right.
Of course.
And the longer you do it, obviously the harder it gets to turn that back around.
Yeah.
Right? So the fact that you're saying 10 years of your life from one bad decision went down, into that dark place and lived there for a while. I mean, I can understand how hard it would have been to flip that back, especially after that time, man. You know what I mean? And to come out and to help others with it, and to have the courage to do that and tell your story.
Yeah.
Because, at the end of the day, people judge, right? And they'll hear stories and they'll be like, of your past, and judge you on that, which isn't the way it should be, because they're all lessons, right?
Yeah.
And, I'm not one who looks at it that way, because we can only get judged by one person, right? We should not judge each other. We're all brothers and sisters.
Exactly.
We just be helping each other and come up together, right? And that's how we look at everything.
Yeah.
But and that's why when you see someone down and come out of it, it's great, because there's a lot of people that don't.
Yeah.
And it's like people and people who hear this might know and have had personal experiences with, and they didn't pull themselves out of that place, and to have you do that is encouraging, and for you to spread the word to teenagers especially, who probably need to learn it at that point, because usually school is maths, science, English, those sorts of things, but you don't get taught how to deal with external factors and pressures of life. We never did. Now thankfully, things are happening where awareness is happening, right? But to actually be the guy doing it and putting yourself out there to be vulnerable, right, it takes a lot of courage, man. It says a lot about you and how far you've come.
Thanks.
You know what I mean? So it's actually great to see the trends, because I haven't seen you for a while, and hadn't seen you for a while before that. So I've seen from in that place into a different place to now. So I reckon the last time we actually saw each other properly was when you were doing building inspecting, and you came to a property that we were renting, and you did a inspection there, and it was mold in the laundry in the bathroom, and my missus could smell it. She was pregnant. That's 5 years ago, man. Yeah, man.
Right?
That's crazy.
That was one of I reckon that was probably aftermath of one of the worst times in terms of that, Yeah, 2012, 2013, somewhere around then.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. And that was a bit of a journey coming from there, but environment, man, is it's now known. Studies will show. So there was this thing I was reading. So I love reading, right? This is the thing. I've got two things to say. Number one, young people, don't let your formal education get in the way of your love for learning, right? So who says that? Mark Twain. Mark Twain's that author. He's got some great sayings. That's one of my favorites, because what happens is you don't like school. Yeah. So you associate learning to school.
Yeah, guilty by association.
Right. Yeah. And so the average person will not pick up a non-fiction book for up to 7 years after finishing school.
7
years.
That's interesting.
I know. Yeah. So what they do, I'm like, but dude, you've got to learn to love learning. Right? I've got this saying, the more you learn, the more you earn.
Yeah.
Right?
I used to hate reading, bro.
Right. Well, now look what they've got, bro. They've got audio books, man. They've got podcasts. Look at this. You know what I mean? You've got an hour of listening to some people that have gone through life and got experiences, and some of the best minds on the planet. Yeah. All you got to do is sit there for an hour. Yeah. I do it while I drive. I call it a mobile university, man. Yeah. I don't barely listen to music. If it is, it's some gospel gangster music. It's called Kingdom Music Family. Amazing. Shout out, right? I love it because I get my old gangster on, but it's all gospel, It's the best, man. It's the best. So apart from that, it's literally podcasts and audiobooks, man.
Yeah, man. Me and Carm the same. We hardly even watch TV or anything. If we are, we're probably watching YouTube. Yeah. And if it's YouTube, it's probably YouTube podcast. Yeah. Calm would definitely be about UFC and...
Oh, yeah, a bit of UFC.
UFC and Joe Rogan.
See Adesanya?
Yeah.
Oh, were you?
He watched he went to Melbourne.
Oh, it's a good fight, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Joe Rogan, man, he's good, man. Yeah, there's another guy that I really like. And what I really like about him is that even if we disagree, it's cool. Yeah. We don't need to agree to be friends. And this is what today's society doesn't get. Yeah. I can disagree with something with you. That's cool, man. I still love you. Yeah. That's cool.
That's it.
You know what I mean? It's about learning and loving, man. That's it. And laughing. Learning, loving, laughing.
The L's.
What more do you want, man? Triple L.
Yeah.
You know? All right? So we're talking about environment.
Yeah.
And there was this experiment.
Yeah.
Fleas. Fleas, they
Like fleas
jump.
on a dog. Yeah.
Yeah, like fleas on a dog.
Yeah.
They put them in a box.
Yeah.
Okay? They then put a lid on the box. And these fleas would jump. I can't remember how long they would jump for, but by the second day, they would jump and they would hit the ceiling and it would hurt, so they would stop. The whole community of fleas would stop jumping that high.
Yeah.
They then take the lid off. Guess what? The fleas still don't jump
Yeah.
that high.
Yeah.
They then take a flea out, put it with another bunch of fleas in a bigger box that don't have a limitation of their jump, and within a day, that flea is jumping high again. Product of the environment.
Yeah. Right.
You see?
Yeah.
So we see it in the animal species over and over again. There was a Labrador that had babies. The Labrador had some complications during birth.
Yeah.
She then starts walking around dragging her back legs, like dragging across the ground.
Yeah.
The puppies copy the way she's walking because we learn 85 to 95% through our environment. Like that's how we learn unconsciously. They start dragging their back legs. They then remove these puppies, put them with a female Rottweiler. They come back walking like a Rottie.
Yeah, like a staunch.
That's right. Baby Labrador poodles. Baby Labrador puppies.
Yeah, right.
You see?
Yeah, man.
This is how powerful it is, man. And we see it over and over again in the animal kingdom. It's exactly the same. If you want to change your environment.
I guess the hard thing for some kids is they can't change their environment, right?
Well, can't and... See, I don't believe there's such thing as can't when we're
Okay.
talking like this, because can't means we're putting it outside of our ability.
Yeah.
That's not true. You either won't or you don't. Which one is it? This is what I say to young people. And of course it's hard. Success is not easy.
Yeah.
Successful people do what unsuccessful people aren't willing to do.
Yeah.
Not can't do,
Yeah.
they're just not willing, man.
Yeah.
So of course, my mates that I said, there was some that backlashed and that hated on me, you know?
Yeah.
Like, oh, what, you know, subconsciously too. Like, I can't even hate on them. Like,
Yeah.
I love them. I forgive them. Like, just,
Yeah.
you know, nothing but love there. But
Yeah.
subconsciously, it's like the crab. The crab, if you put crabs in a bucket and one crab gets out, do you know what the others do?
No.
They pull him back in.
Really?
Yeah, it's called the crab effect. They pull him back in. Do you know why? Because they're like, hey, where are you going?
Yeah.
Rather than go, be free, my brother.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see, subconsciously they want to pull you down.
Yeah.
So these people, when you're leaving their environment, basically it's a self-reflection of, oh, I must be not as good as you.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily you're saying I'm better than you, but
Yeah.
they're internally going, I mustn't be that good. So, come back.
Yeah.
And so you're going to have those friends too.
Yeah.
But then you've got the good friends
Yeah.
that go, you know what, man? You made the best decision.
Yeah.
And I've got those people too, man. And
Yeah.
there's more of those than there are the opposite.
Yeah.
And if they are the opposite, then that even shows you more that you don't need them in your life right now.
Yeah.
I'm not saying when you get there, you can't turn a hand around and go, come on, I'll pick you up.
Yeah.
But when you're like on the plane, okay,
Yeah.
what do they say? They
Yeah.
say in case of emergency, the oxygen mask comes down, put it on who first?
On yourself.
On yourself.
Yeah.
Why?
I always thought that was weird because I'm like, if I've got kids, I would put them on the kids first. But
No,
if you
because-
can't help yourself, you can't help anyone else, right? So
Come
it
on.
makes sense.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. But it's like, but those kids that you were just saying, so like you've got, say if one kid starts doing good and this kid's got the crab effect and wants to, hate on that kid for starting to do good, right? Those are the ones that would need you the most and the help the most, right? The ones that have the crab effect, right? Because obviously there's something in their environment that's made them have that perspective and be that way. And that's what I'm saying, with kids it might be hard because they still have to go home after school,
Yeah.
right? And that might be the environment that's really toxic for them.
Yeah.
So in that situation it'd be even harder
Yeah.
for them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and sometimes we can't choose that environment,
Yeah.
right? But if we become aware of it and aware of the impact it has, then we can maybe escape it within the environment.
Yeah.
Read more.
Yeah.
Draw.
Yeah.
Listen to, music that's empowering
Put
and
earphones
encouraging.
in, man.
Earphones,
That's it.
man.
Block yourself out.
That's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Go, like I told a young girl who, is in a situation that's not great,
Yeah.
and she has siblings that are also there.
Yeah.
I said, don't take them home straight away.
Yeah.
Go to the library, read, create this beautiful state, go to the park, come home for dinner, go to bed, read them again, and then put them to sleep.
Yeah.
So you minimize the impact that environment has on you if you can't change that environment like physically like that.
Yeah.
But the problem is when you got young people, they're too worried about what other people think. You see, so I don't know if you've seen some of my videos, but I like to dab.
Yeah.
Okay, I dab all the time, man. Like it's just something I enjoy, man. Like it's like an exclamation mark to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you make a good point, and they go, yeah, I'm like, oh, and then I do different ones, right? And some of them, I don't care if they're laughing at me or with me, bro. To me, it's the same.
Sure.
But my daughter said to me, Dad, don't you get embarrassed? I said, no. She said, how come? Because you know what it takes to get embarrassed? You know the only person that can embarrass you, man?
Yourself.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So if I choose not to be embarrassed,
I won't be.
I can't be embarrassed, mate. I tell them, my pants could fall down around my ankles. I could trip over and bang my head on the floor. You all would laugh. I'd get up and laugh, pull up my pants and continue.
Yeah.
You may laugh for another few minutes, maybe an hour, then it's done. How many of you are going to be talking about it in 2 years? Definitely not everyone.
Yeah.
Maybe it comes up in sporadic conversations here and there, but it's done.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
So when we talk about putting the mask on yourself first, you must help yourself first before you can help others.
Yeah.
So when these young people are like, oh, what are my friends going to say? If they are friends, they're going to want you to succeed.
Yeah.
And if they don't want you to succeed, then it's better you find out now than later.
Yeah.
And again, yes, it's going to be hard. Like I tell them, what I teach is simple, but it's not easy.
That's how to cope in situations, right?
It's simple, bro, but it's not easy because your brain, number one, doesn't want to change.
Yeah.
It's got used to doing the same thing over and over. We are emotional creatures of habit. We do think that's the way the brain works. All of us, me included.
Yeah.
Okay, the best in the world included. But what they've done is they've trained their brain to go, when I say jump, brain says, how high? Most of the young people that I talk and I teach, when they say jump to their brain goes, not right now.
Yeah.
You see? Because they haven't trained it. Same thing. If my friends are not supportive of me getting better and doing better for my life, then are they really the people I want to be hanging around?
So have you found like a common theme throughout the kids when you visit? Like, is there like always a certain amount that seem unhappy, or is it, is it a mixed bag, or like what do you get like when you go?
Look, there is a bit of a mixed bag, but the thing that I find is that's quite similar is this. There's a bit of like what they would consider a laziness or an unmotivation.
Yeah.
Okay. But because they live in a world that supports instant gratification.
Yeah.
Right. So basically, I want to find out an answer, Mick.
Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah.
I don't even need to type it anymore, man.
No.
I press that button.
Yeah.
All right. And I ask Siri, hey Siri, this.
Yeah.
And she tells me.
Yeah. So
how can we live in that sort of world, but then expect kids to be, wanting to, work hard to get something? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because they're not having to work hard to get anything, essentially.
Yeah.
Back in our day, right, when I wanted to find out something, do you know what the lengths I used to have to go through, man?
Yeah.
Right? So how old are you?
32.
32, right. Yeah. So there's only 5-6 years between us, right?
Yeah.
So you would have remembered a time of looking through bibliographies.
Yeah.
And indexes, right?
Yeah, man.
Right? Exactly. And maybe looking through 4, 5, 6.
Encyclopedia collection,
They don't even know
brother.
what that is, man.
You know what I mean? Like, had to go to the library and like
Yeah.
find out, like read the spines of the book to find a code of like, this is in that section at this place to get that book. Half the time was with someone else, you couldn't bloody get it, so you had to wait
Exactly.
and put your name down to take it next.
So what lessons did you learn there? What lessons did you learn?
Patience, man.
Patience.
Yeah.
They don't know it.
Yeah.
Because it's not taught to them. So most of it's not even their fault.
Yeah.
That it needs to be something that's taught so it can be practiced and be trained so it can be mastered.
Yeah.
We don't even master patience, and we grew up having to be patients.
Yeah.
Dialing up the internet.
Oh, dude.
You remember that?
Oh my god.
Do you remember that? You know, okay.
Yeah.
Now they get pissed off that they can't download a 20 gig movie in 5 minutes.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So it's like, entitled, like, to have everything at your fingertips.
Yeah, so this
as
is
soon
a
as
part
you
of the
want
whole
it.
concept.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that, number one. Number two is probably the things around stress, anxiety, depression.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
Well, this was the thing that I tell you, is that we're driven by dopamine.
Yeah.
Okay? Dopamine is a chemical that's released in the brain, and it basically gets us ultimately to decide whether we want to do something or not. Okay?
Yeah.
Every time you look at your screen, there's a squirt of dopamine. Like, that's how it's been designed, man.
Yeah, right.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So why would you want to go from that to homework?
Yeah. I mean, I don't even have that. I didn't want to go home and do homework.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Imagine if I had that, it would really have never,
exactly,
ever.
right? Even like little things like when like, so now it's showing that kids are staying up later than ever.
Sure.
Okay. And we used to stay up, but what could we do?
Yeah. Really, you just watch,
Well, not
If
even.
the tennis was on,
I
that's
didn't
when you
even have a
stayed up
TV in my
Yeah.
room.
Yeah.
Okay, so when it was bedtime, we'd have to go to bed,
Yeah.
right? 15 years old, you go to bed. 10 o'clock, you want to stay up. Maybe there's a radio or Walkman, and that battery would die. Or
Oh, the Discman, remember?
the Discman, remember? Well, I had the Walkman before the Discman.
Yeah, the Walkman
bro,
as
you
well,
know?
yeah.
And then the Discman, right? And all I could do, maybe have a torch
Yeah.
and read a book.
Yeah. What?
These guys, they're plugged into the world 24/7.
Yeah.
So they don't unplug.
Yeah.
Now what it does is it shows that if you're on a screen an hour to 2 hours before bed,
Yeah.
parts of your brain are still lit up, so you never get a good quality sleep.
Yeah.
Sleep is the key to life, such as breath. Breath number one, sleep number two, food number three, then, whatever else, movement, diet, right?
Get into it.
So they're not even sleeping properly, number one. Then number two, not unplugging from the world.
Yeah.
If we were constantly comparing ourselves subconsciously to the best in the world, like, we would feel pretty crap about ourselves too, man.
Yeah, man.
And all they know is this. Instagram are not showing you freckles and, blotchy skin and, they're showing you the best, the Photoshop, the this and that.
Yeah.
So subconsciously you're comparing yourself to that.
Yeah.
How could you feel good about yourself?
No, it's always in your face too, and it's told this is the way to be.
That's right. So that's probably the other one that I see a lot of. And then the third one I see a lot of is the inability to communicate effectively.
Yeah.
They don't know how to do it, man. And you want to know why? I'm sorry to keep blaming you, Mobile.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You've done so much good for us, but at the same time, you're messing us up.
The way they intake information. Right?
Well, the way they intake information and the way that I communicate with you.
That's what I'm
So
saying.
back in my day, if I wanted to ring you, Michael, where would I have to ring?
Oh man, back in the day, I was thinking about this the other day.
Yeah?
If you went to you were chatting up a girl.
Okay.
Right?
Oh, you want to go there?
Yeah, you want to go there. If you're chatting up a chick, right?
Yep.
Back in the day, all right, and somehow she had your number too.
Yes.
She'd call your house, speak to your parents.
That's right.
And ask to speak to you.
That's
right.
right. That's right. And
Now
then they
think
would
about
have
it
to
now,
have at
dude.
least a minute conversation with your parents. Your mum wasn't
Who's
just going to
this?
hand out. That's right.
What are you talking? Yeah.
That's right.
Michael, you
Yeah.
sure you're calling the right place?
That's right. Okay. So there was even to talk to you. Oh,
dude.
g'day,
Yeah.
Mr.
Yeah, you have to be the most polite self.
Yeah, of
you
course.
Could ever
Yeah,
be.
hi, yeah,
Right.
it's Sam. Oh, g'day, Sam. Oh, good, thanks. How's work? Yeah, pretty good, mate. I had a couple of, and there would be this
Conversation.
That's right.
Yeah.
But now no longer.
No.
Now no longer. Now they don't even need to write a sentence anymore. And I'm guilty of it too, man. Like,
No,
I'll
of
just
course.
throw you an emoji.
Yeah.
I throw my missus this one.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And explain.
Face palm.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Or I hold on your message
Yeah.
and then I select a response.
Yeah.
Love, question mark, like,
Yeah.
thumbs up, thumbs down,
Yeah.
exclamation.
Yeah.
I don't even need to respond.
Yeah, man.
It's crazy. But then we want them to go to a job interview and talk to an employer or ask a teacher.
Nah. They're not taught it.
If you don't use it, you lose it.
Man.
If you don't use it, you lose it. They're not using it. But then we're still judging them the same way we would be judging us back in the day. But it can't work. It's like how I feel about UFC scoring cards.
Yeah.
We use UFC scoring cards the same way we use boxing scoring cards. For me, I don't know about you, it just doesn't work, does it? But how long it's been and they still haven't come up with a better way?
No.
Come on, man.
Yeah, I know.
Use a point system, or like what, takedowns have to score better, so wrestlers are just getting on top and they don't even have to do damage. Like, there should be different. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's the same thing with the kids. It's the same thing, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I love that schools are banning mobile phones.
Yeah.
Love it.
That's good.
Yes, but most of them, well, a lot of public schools I know, they feel like they can't. They feel like their hands are tied. And a lot of that has to do with the parents.
Yeah.
Parents say to me, oh, how do I... No word of a lie, man.
Yeah.
So I'm like, look, the mobile phone and technology is a problem. Like, it's a problem. You've
Yeah.
got to monitor it. Well, how do I take it away?
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you mean? You take it away.
You can't have this anymore.
What?
Yeah.
Give me that phone.
Yeah.
Who's paying for it?
Yeah.
They are,
Yeah.
the parent. So take it away. And you know what else is crazy? These kids, man, as young as 13, they got the latest mobile phones, bro.
Yeah, I know.
$1,000 mobile phones.
We're like 2,000 now, man.
Come on, man. Who's buying that?
Yeah.
Who's buying that? Why? Because it's child-centered parenting. Because there's guilt. There's guilt. Maybe that both parents work and they feel guilty. They're not there enough, so that we give this instead of time and love.
Yeah.
There's guilt, but that doesn't help them.
No.
It doesn't help them, man. Dude, could you imagine what we would have got up to?
Ugh.
Come on,
Man,
man.
we talk about it all the
serious,
time.
man.
Talk
Let's
about
be
it all the time.
serious, man.
Yeah, legit.
We were bad enough with maybe we found a magazine.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, and in the magazine, we would have to then use our creativity, our imagination, because you couldn't actually watch it on a magazine. They were just still photos, correct?
Yeah, exactly right.
Now, boom. And now that causes a whole nother problem.
Yeah.
Oh, massive problem, man.
Yeah. I would have thought like anxiety and that sort of thing would have been the common thing for that reason, because you just see it these days, and the interaction is just different with the younger ones now than what it used to be.
Yeah.
You know, and it is a little bit concerning because everything changes. But it's like, how much more is it going to change? Because with the technology changing, it changes a lot quicker than it used to before as well. So it's like, if it's changing so much and then the speed of that change keeps happening, then how's that going to...
Where does it end?
Exactly, man.
I know.
You
It's
know?
a bit scary.
That's why you see like our parents saying like they're worried for our kids because of how much of it has changed, you know, because they've been through it.
And so quickly too. Never before in this amount of time. Like, think about the last 20 years. What's happened?
Oh man, it was even phones before, like mobile phones.
Oh, internet. We didn't even have internet.
Yeah, you know.
You know, like I tell them that, and they're like, "What? How did you live, sir?"
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy, but it allowed us to develop a whole lot of other skills.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, dude. Well, I used to be outside riding my bike the whole time. You know, like that's what I used to do after school.
Yeah.
Right. It's not like that. It wasn't even safe enough to do it half the time these days for the kids, and that's the problem too, right?
You see, that's the other thing I think about a lot. I'm like, is it more dangerous now than it was then? Is it?
I don't know.
Yeah. Now, is it our perception, or is it the ability that we can communicate from across the planet, that we see it, if it's more in our face? Like, even now I see like...
It was always happening, but now you're more aware of it.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I see 10-year-olds riding their bike without anybody, and I think, oh, the poor kid, like, what's going on?
Yeah.
But we were doing that.
Yeah.
You know? We'd go, my parents wouldn't even know where we were.
Yeah.
I'd hear my dad's whistle,
Hey.
you know, and they're like, oh, time to go.
Back. Yeah.
You know?
Dinner time.
And that was the other thing, being punctual.
Yeah.
Punctual is gone.
Yeah.
Why? Because I can message you and tell you I'm running late.
Yeah.
We couldn't do that before, man.
No, man.
If I said, yo, bro, I'll meet you at the Moles Bowls at 4 o'clock,
Yeah.
then I'm meeting you at the Moles Bowls at 4
Because
o'clock.
I can't contact you after I put that phone down or whatever it was, man. So you had to do it.
So
That's
as
it.
great as it is a tool,
Yeah.
we're relying more on it and we're using our skills less, and so we're losing them.
Yeah.
Another example, technology. GPS.
Yeah.
Okay, I make it a habit to look mentally at the map the way that it wants me to go.
Yeah.
Number one, I don't let it talk to me, because the amount of times you do that and you get somewhere, go there again without the map.
Yeah.
You won't even remember how to get there because you're driving unconsciously. You're not using that tool.
No.
Back, remember the
The books.
What were they called?
The street. What were they called?
Street directory.
Yeah, street directory.
UBD.
No, street directory.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so like map it out, and then you have to get like the torch at night.
J32, you know, whatever.
Like,
J12.
where's this bloody street?
Yeah,
it's not
you know.
here. What are you talking?
So,
It's the wrong Michael Street.
Yeah, exactly.
Man,
so there was that trial and error, that lesson, that get back up when you fall down.
Yeah.
We're missing that. We're losing that.
Yeah,
Resilience.
Yeah, it's one of the most important tools to
Michael,
have.
you can't. What? And then they get upset.
Yeah.
Receiving negative criticism or feedback, they get upset, they quit.
Yeah.
And then they go, why aren't I good? Because you haven't practiced.
And it's probably not even negative, it's probably just constructive.
That's what I mean.
You know what I mean? But they can't take the
So
constructive.
how do we equip them with those tools?
Man, you're needed, that's why. So I'm happy you're doing it. All
Thanks,
right.
bro.
We're already done an hour, brother. Right.
Wow.
I told you it goes quick, man.
It does go quick. That's
all right, but
crazy.
So what's your social medias? So what can people find you on?
Yeah, so I'm mainly hitting the Instagram. It's at Sekseed _ SEKSEED, and I think it's the same on Facebook as well. I'm on Snapchat, man, but I'm sick of people sending me streaks, man, so I try to avoid Snapchat, you know.
All right, awesome, brother. Well, thanks for coming in.
No problem,
All right,
mate.
it was a great show. Like I said, it'll be
appreciate
great to
it.
hear what you're doing, man, and
Thanks, mate.
wish you all the best for the future with it too.
Likewise,
All
man.
right, cheers,
Thank
man.
you, brother.
Bye.
Peace.